Hey guys, it's January 13th, Thursday evening. Hello, Happy New Year. I wanted to just take a couple minutes and talk about the question that so many people are asking about, which is what are prices going to do in 2022? I literally get asked the question almost daily, and not just locally, around the country. And so as I think this answer through what's going to happen to prices in 2022, the answer really is location. You know, the old saying, location, location, location. And so, and it's really a matter of like recognizing where the demand spots are in different states, and where the larger migrations out of certain states are occurring. And that's really going to impact some of the differences in the price appreciation. Broadly, I'm going to share my screen with some content that I've aggregated here. Broadly, most of the experts are predicting another relatively solid year in terms of home price appreciation across the country. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Mortgage Bankers Association, etc., are predicting a healthy gain. Again, of course, this is locally going to be different in different markets, but still strong price appreciations across the board. In fact, others that weren't on this list, including Zillow, recently predicted as much of a price appreciation between 11% in some of these quotes to as much as 13 to 14%. Now, of course, Zillow recently shut down their home buying arm of their business, admitting that they really weren't good at predicting price appreciation. So I'm not sure that's the advice we want to take. But largely what we do want to do is identify and acknowledge, that the predictions or prices are going to go up. What I wanted to identify were the reasons, and I'm going to take my approach just a little bit more locally here to South Jersey. Obviously, we speak to and serve the greater Philadelphia metro market in general, but for the purposes of this conversation, I wanted to share, I guess, basically two main reasons why I feel we are not only going to not see prices decline, but we are going to see prices continue to rise, not just for the next 6 months, not for the next 12 months, but for the next several years. Solid price appreciation for the next several years here in southern New Jersey. And there's really a couple of reasons why. Number one is, if you think about it, the inventory position that we're in right now. We're at the lowest level of inventory that we've literally ever seen. And some of the inventory that's on the market, as prices grew over the course of the last year, we experienced a lot of homeowners that were excited and recognized that, wow, I'm able to get a price that perhaps I never would have been able to achieve before, or certainly not in the last decade or more. And then all of a sudden went to a point where they recognized how difficult it would be to move. And so they went a route of what I describe as a little bit more inspired pricing. And so we're still seeing that. Once we hit the end of summer, fall, we were seeing for the first time in the last several years, price reductions start to occur. So we have a small portion of the inventory that is just not priced at the right value proposition and is lingering. And we're left with a very small inventory altogether that's remaining, because there's low inventory in general. And that inventory, when it's priced right, and a good overall value proposition, easy access, nothing slowing down the process, we're seeing experience multiple strong offers, sellers able to achieve the most attractive terms, historically high prices, and negotiation flexibility that's going to be heavily tilted to favor sellers and what sellers are looking for. And that's the experience that they're having. As it applies to inventory, as we look back over these last 10, 12 years, we came off of a bubble. Following that bubble, the rest of the country started to recover, and prices were rising in most locations around the country as early as 2010, 11, 12 at the latest. In southern New Jersey, we didn't experience that same trend. We ended up having, in Atlantic County, the highest unemployment rate in the country following 4 casino closures, together with the highest rate of foreclosure in the country. And that result, the result of that ended up driving our prices down even more over the course of the next 4 years. So 2012, 13, 14, 15, actually even in the 16, we saw prices continue to fall. The second thing that we saw during that period is, for all intent and purpose, virtually no new construction. Of course, we saw some builders come in, finish out developments that were already in process. We also had a couple of random subdivisions over the years whereby bigger builders came in and bought land that was already developed and improved, and they bought it out of bankruptcy sales, and they were able to make it work and sell properties at a price that was going to be profitable for them to a certain extent. But largely, no new construction took place during that time because the prices just didn't make economic sense. With the exception, obviously, of the second home seashore markets, any of the primary resident markets, we've seen virtually no new construction. So we are seeing a massive undersupply as our population continued to start to gain momentum in 2015-16. We had a massive undersupply. What was serving that supply during those years was we had a large number of bank foreclosures. All that came to a halt by the early 2017. We basically sold through all of that large lagging pipeline of bank foreclosures that we had built up over the previous 8 years, and now we were left with no new homes being built. The bank foreclosure inventory was depleted, and then as we started to see strong price appreciation in 2017, 18, 19. Then all of a sudden we enter 2020 again with a historically low inventory, and then COVID happens. At that point in time, what COVID did to our market was completely reset it. We were at a point where we gained back some of the value that was lost over the course of those previous couple of years based upon foreclosures, and then we opened up a whole new level of attention and demand to be in this market, as people all over the greater Philadelphia metro market, the New York City metro market, North Jersey, all over in different parts of the country as well, that started to recognize that these values in this market, as we moved into this COVID era and this higher level of work from home and the Zoom town phenomenon, this area gained an enormous amount of attention during that time as a result, and we started seeing people wanting to live here, recognizing that, let's face it, it's a pretty outstanding lifestyle when, where I sit right now here in Northfield, and a lot of the people in Atlantic County, we're 10, 15 minutes from the beach, in living in one of the greatest value propositions that's available in the Northeast. Once that started to become visible and people were recognizing that they could take advantage of it, our demand went through the roof. And it's not changing, it's not slowing down. So as it applies to what we're going to see in 2022, and like I said, this isn't going to be another 6 months, another 1 year. We've got several years of really strong demand until we start to see some more new construction pick up some of that demand and balance out our market even just a little bit. We've got a couple more years of really strong price, strong demand that's going to lead to strong price growth impacting our market, and that's really not going to change. If you're a buyer in this market, I get it. It's challenging. It's going to continue to be challenging. We're working with buyers to create the most compelling value propositions and offer propositions, and a lot of them are recognizing that, all we did was basically catch up with where we should have been in terms of values over the last 6-7 years, and we've caught up with the rest of the southern New Jersey region and the state in general. And we're at a point where we're still an outstanding value proposition, and as compared to some of the other locations, and what you're getting for the money is still, even though we've seen prices jump as much as 40 and 50% over the last 24 to 30 months, which is extraordinary, we're just getting back into alignment with where we should have been all along if we hadn't gone through the additional localized borderline depression with what happened in job loss, etc., a number of years back. So hopefully this is helpful to you. If you have any questions as to what this means to the value of your home, as always, I want the information that we provide to be the most resourceful and helpful and best information to help you make decisions about your real estate here, not just this year, but in the future. With that, thank you very much. I look forward to us being able to help you in all of your plans in 2022. Have a great night. I'll see you soon.